guys, I'm back again with another reaction video, and today we're reacting to David Wood makes career-ending mistakes. I got this request on Instagram, so I'm gonna check it out. I'm really interested to see what he did that destroyed his career. Okay, so anyways, before we do start, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell button to get notified whenever I do upload a video. Anyways guys, let's check this out.
I think David Wood has said some career-ending, embarrassing statements today. I mean, to be honest with you, after 20 years of researching Islam, you come with this.
What did he say?
Let's deal with one by one. The Spirit of God hovered over after God created the heavens and the earth. Okay, no problem. If that's meant to be God, no problem. Let's go to Zechariah's in Old Testament, chapter 6, verse 5. There are 4 spirits. So are there 7 gods now? Because the word in Hebrew is ruach. And you wouldn't know about Hebrew because look, I think not only do you not know Arabic, but you don't know Hebrew, and you're making a big mistake by trying to interpret the biblical text in this way. There's 2 words for spirits in the Hebrew language, ruh, which is the same as the Arabic, and the ruach. The word ruach is here in Zechariah chapter 6, verse 5, talking about 4 spirits. So tell us why, if that is a spirit and it's God, then how comes there's only 3 gods, 3 persons of God, and there isn't 7, for example?
So David Wood is an American evangelical missionary known for criticizing Islam using traditional Muslim sources and often twist them out of context. Oh, okay, there we go. At least we know who he is now.
He says that Jesus, this is called the etymology fallacy. That's, he's been referred to as Emmanuel, etc. God is with us. Elijah is also, the word Elijah in the Hebrew language means God is with us.
Okay.
So if that makes Jesus God, then Elijah is also a God. We move on. What else did he say? I am statement. If you look at the New International Version of the Bible, the I am is actually not translated as I am, but I will be. And there's a whole discussion on that. And to be honest with you, frankly, I don't even take the Gospel of John to be completely authoritative, and neither do the majority of biblical scholars anyways. 95 AD, it's a long way. He says, Allah says, that Allah yusalli ala nabi, and he's here saying that he prays to the Prophet. There's a difference between yusalli lahu and yusalli ala in the Arabic language. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to have to give you a free Arabic lesson here today.
I feel like that's the problem of all people who criticize, I think, Islam or what the Quran has said, let's just put it that way. Because of the grammar, we pull it out of context, or we read it how we want to understand it. We don't really know the entire. I feel like for people to criticize, like David Wood, for him to criticize Islam, or let's say the Quran in as it is, he definitely needs to learn Arabic first before he does look into the Quran and then starts pinpointing whatever it is that he wants to pinpoint. But also I heard in previous videos that even Arabic right now is not on par with the Quran's Arabic. So it's still there's still going to be a lot of misconception even if you learn their language. So it's
I knew it. And that's why the translators put 4, not to the Prophet. You don't know what the words in Arabic mean. Don't speak salah. Come on, please, don't embarrass yourself. Allah has parts. He says Muslim scholars say we should take this literally. Which Muslim scholars? Which Muslim scholars? He says, كُلُّ شَيْءٍ هَالِكٍ إِلَّا وَجْهَهُ in Surah Al-Qasas, chapter 20 of the Quran, means everything is destroyed except for his face. And this means that Allah, all his body parts will be destroyed. He has body parts in these things. First of all, the word kull in Arabic doesn't necessarily mean all. Subki wrote a book, Al-Kull wa ma tadul. And he said, and he shows with examples that the word kull doesn't mean all. I'll give you an example. In chapter 46 of the Quran, Surah Al-Ahqaf, تُدَمِّرُ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهَا فَأَصْبَحُوا لَا يُرَى إِلَّا مَسَاكِنَهُم. That the wind destroyed everything, كُلُّ شَيْء, the same words here in Surah Al-Qasas. Everything was destroyed except for their houses. If it meant every single thing, it wouldn't have been their houses, would not be there. So the word kull doesn't mean that in Arabic language. Once again, it's a problem with language. He says that, this is exactly his words. He said the Quran is an eternal person. Tell me one scholar in the history of Islam who said that. This is a lie. He says the Quran is, it will come as a shafi'ah on the day of judgment. So if this is the question, I'll put it better for you, I'll help you, yeah? If the Quran is an attribute of God, how can it intercede for you? This is what he's saying, right? It's a good question. This is a good question. But it's not a proper understanding of the hadith. This is the only good question you had. I'll give it to you. This is the only good question you had. the hadith says, "Iqra al-Quran." So it's not that the Quran, i.e. the attribute of Allah that will intercede for you on the day of judgment, but it is your qira'ah of the Quran and the thawab that you get of the Quran, which means the reward you get from the recitation of the Quran, not the Quran as an attribute of Allah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
He says, therefore, there's 114 persons of the Quran. Two called fallacy. I told you he would do it and appeal to hypocrisy. So here are you admitting that having more than one person of a being of God is wrong because you should leave Trinitarianism then? But obviously, as we know, there's no one in the history of Islam that referred to...
By the way, stop criticizing my facial expressions, just facial expressions, okay? So like, stop doing that face. I mean, it's my face. I can't stop doing this facial expressions. That's how I normally react to situations or life in general. Like, as my friends, I'm very expressive. So if you don't like the way I express my face, then go watch the original video or watch another reactor who just sits there like a robot, okay? Because I get a lot of those and I'm like, what the fudge are you watching then?
But obviously, as we know, there's no one in the history of Islam that referred to the surah of the Quran as persons. This is wrong. You don't know about Islam.
Wait, let's
in the history of Islam should lead to Trinitarianism then. But obviously, as we know, there's no one in the history of Islam that referred to the surah of the Quran as persons. This is wrong. You don't know about Islam. Here you're being educated.
Educate me.
He didn't know the Arabic, but I'm going to give him the Arabic. In chapter 6, verse 108 of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Allah does not have a mate. So does this mean, what does this mean? That biological, they had a discussion about biological. Really and truly, how can you have a begotten son? There's only three options. Number one, biology. Number two, adoption. And number three, metaphor. And if you say it's not biology and it's not adoption, it must be a metaphor. So Jesus is not a son of God. Okay. And then he says that the Prophet, they played, they tried to get his hair and the spit and these things. Okay, well if you think spitting on someone makes you a god, well that's what it implies, then I wonder why you look at every other verse of the Bible as implying that Jesus was God, because for you, a spit...
Oh, just the sound of that is, no way. Well, I don't know if I can use quotations, but... God or somebody even not God, like somebody who is like higher up, wise, smart would do that. Like just ooh.
That's making me a god now. I mean, don't embarrass yourself in front of me.
Like just imagine like somebody just spat on you and you'll be like, oh, you're God. Yeah, like what's porn? Hello. Like so what they're doing is just like, oh, I cannot even.
Okay, so this
with that analogy.
Interceding, because it's a narrative voice. Assalamu alayka. We say this in the tashahhud every time. It's a narrative voice. However, let's not say it's a narrative voice. Let's give it to him. He says this must mean that the Prophet Muhammad is omnipresent. Yes, he's omnipresent. Let's have fun with him today. Oh. There is a hadith in Bukhari which says that whenever one person does salah on the Nabi, which means blessings and praise on the Prophet, blessings on the Prophet, the angel will carry that and give it to him. It doesn't mean that he's hearing it everywhere. The angel is moving it around. This is from the will of Allah. And if you didn't know that, now you do. He says that Kalimatullah, the Isa being referred to as the word of Allah, must mean that he is divine. So although the Quran says clearly that he's not divine, no, it makes a mistake, he is divine. Well, you're all over the place, you're fumbling all over the place. It's embarrassing.
Very, very true. Even me, I'm so confused. Like when they explain, I'm just like, which is what? What is the way? Which is the way? Like, if it's basically like asking somebody, how do I get to point A to point B? And they tell you, oh, here, blah, 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 and then you're just like, you actually even confuse me even more. So I'm gonna not trust you. I'm just gonna step back and look for someone else to explain it to me, because what you just said is just like, we just went around the bush like 25 times. So what is it?
Kalimatullah is defined in chapter 3 verse 58 of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna mathala Isa عند الله كمثل آدم خلقه من تراب
It's gonna tell me the meaning, right?
فيكون.
5 minutes left.
He said to him, be, and he was. The word is defined in the Quran as be. So Allah says be, and things are. Just like he said be with Adam, he said be with Jesus, and he was.
And it was, okay. It's just like, just exist, and then it just existed. Yeah, like, why are we... I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Planetary things in Arabia and these things. I mean, how can you make a judgment? First of all, I haven't got a reference for that. I didn't see a reference. He didn't say, yes, I give you a reference here. It says Bukhari, whatever. Even if he's got a reference, how do you know that the practice originated from that and not from Abraham? After all, Abraham, even in the Old Testament, yes, he pre-existed before Jesus, even though you have, the physical Jesus, and he was there in the desert. And you have in the book of Psalms mention of pilgrimage. So, if this is the case, then I wonder why this is mentioned. Now, I think this is all that he kind of mentioned. I want to give you one principle, ladies and gentlemen, that will destroy everything he said. The Quran says, chapter 42, verse 11, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ, that there's nothing like him. You cannot do tashbih or tamthil of Allah. Anything that we see in the Quran. So
I'm sorry, but I want to see like this sort of like, how do you call this again? Sharing affection, love, and mercy conference. I'm just gonna say conference, but I want to see a conference wherein, let's say, this Christian and Christian minister or whatever Christian and a Muslim, also whatever, I don't know, speaker, come together and then kind of like do this, but then changes the mind of one another. Okay, like this, maybe like, let's say the Christian changes the mind of the Muslim, or the Muslim changes the mind of that Christian. I want to see that. I don't know why, I'm just intrigued. Like, where did it click for that other person? Like, let's say this guy is talking to David Wood, right? And then David Wood is just like, oh my god, it makes sense. Oh my god, like, actually what you're saying is right. I want to see that one. And then in front of everyone, he's like, okay, I'm going to start learning about Islam and I will get back to you guys in a few seconds. Yeah, I want to see that. I definitely want to see that. Let's go back a bit.
That there's nothing like him. You cannot do tashbih or tamthil of Allah. Anything that we see in the Quran, talking about the hand, talking about the face, all of these things, you can rest assured, because of this verse and the other verse, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ, that this means, yes, this means it cannot be compared to anything you imagine. لا تدرك الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار.
I don't really understand most of the
I mean,
things,
every Muslim knows this. But the idea is there's an implicit admission here.
The terminology.
I've lost. This is what I come up with. I've lost. Yes, we know Trinitarianism is so confusing, but I'm going to show you how much, Tawheed is confusing as well. I have admitted defeat, therefore I'm going down. I'm going to try and take you down with me. That's really what you're trying to say to me, David Wood.
It's very, very true though. There's a lot of religious people that will try to take you down with them just because they realize that, oh my god, like what I just said is false or is inaccurate, so I'm just gonna try to say that whatever you're gonna say to me right now is similar as false and inaccurate as well. So that's crazy. It's like a crab mentality in religion.
Going down, I'm gonna try and take you down with me. That's really what you're trying to say to me, David Wood. I know, by the look of your face here, you would probably agree with me. Let's be honest. Look at his face. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't even see his face. I want to see.
Yes.
I don't even know
Anyways,
who
I've
he
got
is, right?
a few minutes left. Let me recite some Quran because I've
No,
done with this
there's
guy.
an ad.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Why do we have an ad? Ooh, that looks good.
Did you just buy that?
You won't even know it. He says in chapter number 19, verse number 31, about Jesus. This is what we believe about Jesus. قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا ذلك عيسى بن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون.
Is Miriam Mary or is Miriam?
قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون وإن الله ربي وربكم فاعبدوه هذا صراط مستقيم فاختلف الأحزاب من بينهم فويل للذين كفروا من مشهد يوم عظيم. That Isa said Jesus, according to this is, guys, Christians, this is what Allah says in the Quran. Listen to it. Tell me if this is not a better model for you.
Okay.
Be honest. This is Jesus.
I'm going to be honest.
I am the slave of Allah, of God. He gave me the book and he made me a prophet. Just like in chapter 8 of Mark, verse
1 minute left.
Yes, 48. People thought Jesus was a prophet in the Old Testament, in the New Testament time, in the time of Jesus when he was alive. And he made me blessed wherever I am. This is what we believe of Jesus. He made me blessed wherever I am. You know. وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا, and he told me to pray and to give charity so long as I am alive. You know.
It's
This
true
is
though.
what we believe about you.
That is true though. Like, hey, what are you here in the world to do? You just have to be like, you just have to like pray to God or be grateful for what it is that you have, which is in prayers, right? Gratitude, showing gratitude in prayers, and by giving to the needy or to the people who are less fortunate. Is basically my understanding of life, at least. Like, I've come to understand that, like, we're just here for, it's just basically like a test. This is the waiting room right now, and our creator is basically looking down on us and saying, okay, humanity, you are in the waiting room, and then after this waiting room, what your faith is and what your, like, what you're gonna do in this waiting area is what shows where I'm gonna put you. Am I gonna put you up there or down there, right? So this waiting area where we are is earth, right? So whatever your reaction is basically like going to a psychological, how do you call it, facility wherein maybe they're testing you for like behavioral whatever, and then you see like behind the screen there's a psychologist or doctors behind the screen, right? Just looking at all these candidates and then seeing where they're gonna categorize each candidate. It's basically life right now. So how are you gonna act? Are you gonna control? Are you gonna have faith in this study, or are you gonna have faith in this, like, this creator of ours, right? How are you gonna act as a human being? Are you going to be kind to one another? Are you gonna help each other? Okay, so what is it? I feel this is my perspective of how the world works. So yeah, did I make sense? Probably not for most people.
Jesus Christ, وبرا بوالدتي. I was good with my mother. ولم أكن جبارا شقيا. I wasn't an arrogant person. والسلام علي يوم ولدت. And peace be upon me the day I was born, and the day I die, and the day I will come back to life. That is Jesus, son of Mary, the one who you differed about. Jazakumullahu khairan.
I want to show you something that is really, really
I don't know. I think that's
on
it.
my phone, and it
But
reminds
let's
me just a second, but it
remove
reminds-
this. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Wow, that was really good. That was beautiful. I love this stuff just because like you learn a lot of things that sometimes you don't even know, you know. So it's really interesting to kind of like listen to this kind of talks and learn, even if not everything, but a little, just a little, like 2%, okay, goes a long way. At least you build up on that knowledge and naivety, and then it just becomes this whole beautiful thing. So whatever I'm trying to say is, you know, it's not bad to ask questions, it's not bad to be wrong, but as long as you're open-minded to understanding and listening and asking questions, it's good. And as long as you're doing good in the world, and you know, I feel like if you're just doing something right in this world of ours, and you know, hating on nobody, not being bad to anyone, you might be on the right track. Might be, okay? Don't listen to me. Listen to your own faith, okay? Listen to your own religion. Listen to your own knowledge and understanding, and follow what you feel is. Who am I to say? Who am I to freaking say? Let's just end this video because it's going nowhere right now. Well, if you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, leave in the comment section down below what other videos like to react to. The original link of this video will be in the description box down below, so it's my social media links. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.